Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So currently, we're at the end of the year. We're almost to 2024. We have 1 day to go pretty much. And things are looking really good. Donald Trump is not only just absolutely eviscerating his Republican primary opponents, but he is also defeating Joe Biden in the popular vote, which has been a theme for quite some time. And we are pretty close to the 2024 election. Make no mistake about it, the 2024 election is going to be taking place in like 10 months and a week or so. I mean, we're knocking on the door. We are closer to the 2024 election than we are to the beginning of February. That is how we're really moving along pretty quickly here. And Trump is a lead, and he never had a lead against Biden in the popular vote. I don't even know, maybe a handful of polls altogether, but never in the aggregate leading up to the 2020 presidential election. But now he has a lead because Biden is in the gutter. His approval rating is down by 15 points or more, and on the issues, he's down even further. And it's only getting worse for him. There's really no sign of a recovery. And it seems as if this continues, we are headed for a very big year for Republicans in 2024. However, I would like to say there's one thing that will hold Republicans back significantly. And that's not just a single issue. That's not really anything that you will hear about. People talk about abortion. People say Trump's indictments. Those things are not likely going to hold Trump back given what we've seen in the polling. I mean, you look at this here. Donald Trump is not seen as somebody who is too far to the right on abortion. And Trump has been indicted 4 times, and he's only rose in the polls against Joe Biden. The one problem Republicans have, though, and they could have, is a problem with complacency, which is a major issue. It hurt them in 2022 to a certain extent, and it definitely could hurt them in 2024 if they do not utilize every single avenue to go out there, chase these ballots, get people out to vote, get people involved. So that's really the one thing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but first I have to tell you guys about our latest sponsor over at Aura, because we live in tumultuous times. Foreign organizations are targeting more than just our servicemen and women. They're targeting all of us. And Aura is an all-in-one digital safety tool that can identify these data brokers exposing your info, and they can submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it super hard to do, so let Aura handle it for you. It's a US-based company with 100% US-based customer support staff that's available 24/7. And Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats you can't see. They also offer credit and identity monitoring, antivirus, VPN, password management, comprehensive parental controls, and more. So you get everything at one affordable price and the peace of mind knowing that plans include $1 million of identity theft insurance for each adult, up to 5 adults in a family plan. So go to aura.com/redeagle and get your first 14 days free. It's a product that I trust. So Joe Biden, that's somebody who I don't trust, and the American people don't trust, and now he's trailing in the polls by 2.3%. It's kind of always been this way. It's been a recurring theme on all of the issues. In 2024, we're entering the year. We are 2 weeks away, a little bit more than that, from the first voting in 2024 with the Iowa caucuses. And Donald Trump has a massive lead for the nomination. He has a sizable lead for Iowa, as well as South Carolina and New Hampshire, even though there's been an influx of donor money for Nikki Haley there. Her and Chris Sununu, they're teaming up with left-leaning independents, trying to get them to get out and vote for Haley. But still, Trump leads in the average there by more than 20 points. And his win in Iowa, when it happens, is only going to bolster more momentum. And you're going to see the party unified, more likely than not too far from now. Within 2 or 3 months, Ron DeSantis will be dropping out. All of these people, except probably Chris Christie, are going to end up endorsing Donald Trump. And what that would do is it would boost Trump's numbers, it would boost Trump's approval, because then it becomes a Trump v. Biden matchup. And in doing so, that will unify all Republicans and a lot of right-leaning independents behind Trump. You may see Trump even rise further in the polls. His approval rating, his favorable rating, that's going to rise. And I'm afraid that that could even breed more complacency. And that's what it comes down to. And yeah, you might say that polls, if they end up overestimating your side, they don't always lead to complacent voters. I think in 2022, the polls were just not all that when it came down to gauging the turnout demographics of it. And Donald Trump being on the top of the ticket would definitely increase white working class turnout in enough states necessary to win the 2024 presidential election. If he just gets 20 states, he adds Pennsylvania, he adds Georgia, he's there. Or he adds Wisconsin and Arizona and Georgia, he's there. Or Pennsylvania, Nevada, Wisconsin, he's there. There's plenty of pathways that Donald Trump has to get to 270, but he's got to get there, and we can't leave stones unturned. You can't say, oh, we're going to win everything. Let's go campaign in, Connecticut, for example, when you would be neglecting Pennsylvania or Wisconsin. And I'm not saying Trump can't win in a epic landslide. I'd like to see it happen, but I would like to see us try and lock down the necessary states first. You look at 2020, razor-thin states. All of these states here that are highlighted are razor-thin, and then Nevada's also razor-thin, moving to the right. Same thing with Wisconsin and Pennsylvania when you compare it to the national trend from election to election cycle. And you look at that, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, all decided by under 1%. You look at the Senate races as well. Nevada and Georgia decided by very, very narrow margins. And we can't take that for granted. We can't take that turnout for granted. Definitely Senate races are different. They're more down to the individual candidates than a presidential race where you have higher turnout. And definitely it's a lot more polarizing for both candidates in terms of how they can really gain votes. But either way, you have to go out there and you have to chase the ballots. You have to get people voting early, more so than we did in 2020, more so than we did in 2022. Because what that does is it allows the party not to have to find you at the 11th hour. They can find other people that have not voted yet and get them out to vote. Also, if you have crowded lines at the polling places, that may be a turnoff for some people. Maybe they kind of wanted to vote, but then they see the line and they're like, yeah, I'll do something else. No, we don't need long lines. We need people that for sure are going to vote, voting early as possible. If you don't like mail-ins, you could drop the ballot off, usually at the precinct, the township, whatever. There's usually some way to do it. But that's kind of what it comes down to. We have to understand that as long as the election month exists, that we need to play the game the left plays, because we're not playing the same game right now. And because we're not playing that game, and because we've been complacent, we kick our feet back up on the desk and we say, oh, it's going to be a victory no matter what. It probably will be a win. I'm not trying to doom on this video, but I'm just saying don't be complacent. Get out to vote. Bring 5 or 10 people. Everybody watching this video needs to make it a point to find 10 apolitical people that could be swayed and get them out to vote for Trump in a primary even. Just prime it with that. For example, because even though Trump's likely going to win the primary big, we need to make it a mandate victory. We need to go out there, outperform the polls, win by even bigger than what they say Trump is going to win by right now. And then do the same thing for the general. Get them involved. Get them doing it for the general. It can be done. It can be done. We can have this massive landslide if we play our cards right, because you understand Biden's hated. He is hated. But we have to understand that Democrats, they have their turnout apparatus regardless. And even though they will struggle with it compared to 2020, turnout's going to be down from 2020, we still need to pretend like Biden's going to go out there and get like 80-some, 90-some million votes so we can try to top that. He's not probably going to get that. We know that. But still, we need to go out there and top it. We need to go out there and pretend like we're down by 5 points. We're down by 10 points even. Instead of doing whatever we're doing right now. And if we're able to do that, that means that we're going to be in a much, much better shape for 2024 than we're currently in, which we're in a good shape. I'm not saying we're not. I think Trump would win by a decent margin if the election was today. But still, we still have to do our part. We still have to not underestimate the opposition. They're incompetent. We're incompetent. The Republican Party is incompetent. The GOP establishment, the turnout apparatus, they've been incompetent. Democrats, we overrate their competence sometimes, but we just need to become competent ourselves and not take anything for granted. Go out there, get it done. It's really not that difficult. It's really not, but we have to do our part. People that can volunteer need to be volunteering. They need to be knocking doors. I understand it might seem like it's boring to some people, but that's how these things are done. That's how these things are won. You know, you have to go out there and you have to make sure that we can get as many votes in the ballot box by election day. That's all it comes down to. Not even the issues. I'm not saying the issues aren't important. Money's not important. Messaging's not important. That's all important. But the number one thing is the mechanics, and it's a game of points. And it doesn't matter how good your messaging may be, how correct you may be about the issues, or whatever. If you can't get the most ballots in the ballot box by election day, despite Biden having that approval rating, you're going to lose. Seriously, that's how this thing works. So I think Republicans win. This is not a dooming video, but I will say that we need to act like we're down by a little bit when it comes down to turnout, when it comes down to complacency. We're not going to be complacent here. We're cautiously optimistic. We are optimistic, but still, we got to do our part. We got to go out there, get people involved, get people voting, because that's how we win. And if we do that on top of our current lead, we're going to win by a much, much wider margin. And then you're going to say, wow, all that hard work, it really did pay off. So let's get it done. Let's make it happen next year, 2024. It's going to be a great year. I'm sure it will be, but we cannot be complacent because we still have a long way to go, for one. And for two, we need to make sure that we can turn out the Democrats so we win no matter what. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.